I tweeted about JD Vance talking about you, and man, please look at the first reply. You are truly never getting healthcare. I think they think you're the number one pressing issue. Are you telling me the Vice President of the United States, JD Vance, talking about Hasan Piker Twitter shockgate slop? The American century of humiliation is truly upon us. I mean, Hasan did shock his dog and is getting away with it with his 6 million supporters. So once we get rid of him, we can focus on the next big issue. I think that perfectly shows you where like a lot of people in the Western world are, though, because like I suspect this person is in Canada. Guardian of Arcadia, content creator, IT technician, explorer, existence, blah blah blah. Like, for a lot of people, that's what they're dialed in on. They literally think this is like a real significant problem, and that it is one that is like a far more consequential problem because it's like in front of them. Like, I don't think the vice president should know who I am at all. I'm a Twitch streamer, okay? I'm a goddamn Twitch streamer. So the fact that like as a goddamn Twitch streamer, this is the level of motion that I have. No trife is too insignificant for their attention. I'm not surprised he knew you or said it. He would literally be a must-reply guy if he didn't eat Donald Trump's feces directly out of his asshole. I know. Brother, the New York Times features you weekly. You have motion? I guess. Elon Musk talks about you. Vice President talks about you. You're bigger than you think you are. I'm me. I don't think like this. I don't see it. It's kind of like my height, right? When I walk around, I don't think that I'm taller than people until I see myself in a photo with other people. So I don't think that I am at a level where Elon Musk, the wealthiest person on the planet, should be seriously considering what I do in my day-to-day every single day. I do not think that the vice president should be talking about whatever kind of drama I found myself in. Bad analogy? No, I'm serious. Like, I don't think about it like that. You have your own world experiences, and outside interactions that you have with other people in the wild don't match up the way you see yourself. I don't see myself as that significant of a fixture of American politics, but I guess they do. Shit you do makes global news, whether you're not. You realize it, brother. You got motion now, whether you want to have it or not. I know. I don't like the spotlight. I will say I don't appreciate it. I wish I could go back to just like doing fart memes and talking about politics in my little corner of the internet without like this microscope on me at all times, constantly in the least charitable way, trying to find different ways of saying that I'm a bad person. It just sucks. It is a crazy situation to be in. John DeLillo says, drawing a firm line of the sand here, the vice president of the United States should not know about fake Twitch streamer drama. Exactly. And I agree with that. JD Vance went on a podcast that has no views whatsoever. And on the podcast, he has some choice words. He brought up the Kayagate, Dogtober 7, Shocktober 7 controversy on Pod Force One. I don't even know who this podcast is. And the podcast setup is so silly that it unironically feels like it was AI when I first saw it. But let's take a look at what he had to say.
He has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger and point, he will run to that place and lay down.
You don't have to zap him.
No.
Hasan.
Not like Hasan Piker. No.
Wasn't that disgusting?
No electrocution of dogs here.
How disgusting is that? What does that tell you about a person?
Well, I think it tells you that they're not, that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering to an innocent animal, you're probably the kind of person who doesn't worry about suffering in people as well.
Yeah.
And that's been my experience. If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. So
JD Vance has done spot training for his own dog. So he knows that it is not an abusive practice. And yet he is still leaning into this idea that I'm like abusing my dog, which is crazy. Because, hello, Kristi Noem, the secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, shot her puppy point blank, ISIS execution style, and then threw the puppy's body in a goddamn landfill in front of construction workers. And the only reason why we know about it is because she wrote about it in her book. What is happening? It is so transparent that these people not only do not give a shit about animal welfare, they don't give a shit about human welfare either. Because remember, this is the vice president we're talking about. The vice president of the United States is talking about Reddit, Twitter drama while we're at the precipice of 40 million American citizens losing their SNAP benefits, as in 40 million Americans are about to starve. 40 million Americans are about to starve in 2 days because the administration does not want to use the existing $6 billion that they have in their contingency funds to keep giving money to people. They are going to go to food banks, which will not be able to make up for the lack of SNAP benefits that they get. These are some of the most underserved people in the country. Many of them work. Many of them, even larger numbers, can't not work. As a matter of fact, they have dependents. They have children with WIC. And JD Vance is over here, as the government is shut down, talking about this shit. It blows my mind, dude. It blows my mind. I cannot believe that this is where we're at. Department of Homeland Security Secretary, once again, literally killed her puppy. Point blank executed her puppy, dumped his body in the landfill. None of these people care about animal welfare. The administration is shutting off 40 million people's SNAP benefits because they simply don't want to fund it. They simply want to make people suffer. They don't even care about human welfare. And this is what he's talking about. What will it take for Americans to realize that this is clearly another cycle of distraction? These people do not care about you. They do not care about their own voters. Because remember, the reason why the government is shut down to begin with is because the Democrats are not funding the CR because they want to make sure that the Republicans come back to the table. This is the only point of leverage that the Democrats have. They want the Republicans to come back to the table and fund the ACA subsidies so that their own voters, Republican voters in rural ass places, still get some semblance of subsidies when they're paying for their health care. That is the argument here. Democrats want to fund health care, and Republicans are dangling the starvation of 40 million Americans in an effort not to fund health care. What is going on? This is where we're at. It's incredible.
It's one of the ways, we really sort of test people is if Atlas responds well to them, if they like Atlas, we know.
And by the way, the dumbest people on the planet still in this chat will turn around and say, bro is deflecting. Brother, there is no deflection. She's right there. Okay. You're stupid. I can't entertain your hallucinations, but beyond the hallucinations that you're engaging in, please recognize that your parents, your grandparents that rely on SNAP subsidies are going to starve, okay? Wake up! That's what I mean. That's what's so crazy about this. First of all, it's not even a deflection. You're talking about a fucking vice president that also has spot trained with the police command their own dog. So he knows what that is. He knows that that's not an abusive practice at all. Many people don't, okay? Many people don't understand it. The very fact JD Vance knows what that is, knows his own Department of Homeland Security secretary shot and killed her own puppy, means that they don't give a fuck about any of this shit. Or he's just straight up saying, yeah, we want a bad person, a sociopath. Hasan, please don't go with the ticket saying it's not abusive. You're going to get clipped, please. I mean, what can I say? What he is, the vice president is comparing me to a serial killer here in this clip, even though his own dog has also gotten spot training as well, knows the place command as well.
Yeah, they're good people, but you can tell if somebody's really mean to animals, it's like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Yeah.
Every serial killer ever has actually been really bad to animals. That's sort of how they.
Yeah, I don't even disagree with that take, except I'm not really bad to animals. I love animals. I care about animal welfare a lot more than fucking JD Vance does. In any case, that's where we're at. This is the New York Post's podcast, apparently. I didn't even know. But JD Vance saying that while his own DHS secretary, the same podcast and interview, spoke with Kristi Noem about her dog, by the way, bland segment overall, but she has spoken to Kristi Noem, putting a puppy down as JD Vance talks about judging your character based on animal treatment. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Let's take a look.
And the dog,
you learn lessons from it.
The dog was a danger, or you felt that it was going to be a dangerous dog, and
Yeah, the dog was actively killing animals for fun, had been massacring, chickens, and then had tried to bite me and attack me. And from working all the time with animals like that, when and in our state and in states and across the country too, that is something that happens from time to time, and keeping children and people safe is incredibly important, when at that time we had little kiddos around every single day. In a hunting lodge we were operating, and people that I knew that I needed to take responsibility for the situation.
Yeah, so I mean that's something I think farmers understand, people on the land understand.
That's crazy. The motherfuckers will still be like, well, actually, you're just deflecting away. Like, you're just deflecting. It's like, this is the best taken care of dog on the fucking planet. Okay? Kaya lives a better life than 99% of the people that are screaming about how I'm abusing my dog because they saw like 10 clips in sequence. And obviously, the broader point here is that we always assume that video is a format where what you see is what you get. And it is very easy to, or it's not so easy to manipulate people, as opposed to text where you can take something out of context or make something utterly devoid of context. But in fact, video can also play a formative role in that. Okay? Video is also just as malleable, especially in the format that I exist in, where I'm literally live 24/7. It's so funny because, like, she gets vet checks with regular frequency, groomed with regular frequency. Incredible amount of activity, socializing, all of that. Like, I'm so on it. I'm so fucking on it. You're just keeping it alive at this point by putting attention to it. If people say you're mistreating, it's either a form of bad faith or you're not going to change their mind anyway. I know. Well, what do you mean? I'm not keeping it alive. The fucking vice president just talked about it. A vice president who also has like lied about human beings eating cats and dogs, including in that fucking very same interview, as a matter of fact. He literally still said, after openly admitting that he was lying about Haitians eating cats and dogs, JD Vance is still saying Haitians are eating cats and dogs as the vice president. JD Vance openly admitted that he was lying in the past about the Haitians eating cats and dogs thing. And then he still turned around and said it. Look at this. Look.
This was, if you remember, the big controversy about all of the migrants who came into Haiti. 20,000 immigrants, Haitian migrants, in a town of 40,000 people. So you blink your eyes in Springfield, Ohio, and you wake up and literally a third of the population of your town is now Haitian immigrants.
And eating cats and dogs.
Eating cats and dogs. Now, Biden paroled those immigrants. And
it's so funny. You're milking it. It's just crazy because like no one actually turns around and goes, maybe this is an op. The other side of this is also like people in the margins, people who fucking like despise JD Vance or Donald Trump. Under no circumstance do they ever go, wait a minute, these are my fucking allies here. That's weird. They don't ask themselves why the vice president is even bringing this shit up. It's fine. It is what it is. What are you going to do?
Evicted from the house because there are people who are going to pay more for rent. And then what happens is 20 people move into a 3-bedroom house. 20 people from a totally different culture, totally different ways of interacting. Again, we can respect their dignity while also being angry at the Biden administration for letting that situation happen and recognizing that their next door neighbors are going to say, well, wait a second, what is going on here? I don't know these people. They don't speak the same language.
Insanely racist, bro. I cannot. We are officially straightforwardly in like neo-Nazi territory with the way that these guys talk about things.
That I do. And because there are 20 in the house next door, it's a little bit rowdier than it was.
Dog, your wife is Indian. Your wife is Indian, big dog. What is happening? This is what I mean. Like, this is what is just so crazy to me. Your wife is Indian. Your children are Indian, okay, of Indian descent. And you're out here hitting white supremacist lines over and over again. Like, I don't understand it. These people do not even consider their immediate family members when they talk like this. Do you not realize that this kind of sentiment, if it continues to fester, will inevitably make your wife's life much harder, your children's lives much harder? I guess a lot of these guys get to talk like this because they kind of feel as though their wealth and their position will protect them. But this is a very dangerous game. This is a very, very dangerous game that they're playing. I don't think they understand what kind of impact this will have in their own lives if left unrestrained. Brother, you're talking about the vice president. I think he's gonna be okay. Yeah, for the time being. But who's to say? Who's to say he maintains his grip of power? Who's to say that the Republican Party doesn't even become more increasingly white supremacist and starts talking about deporting all Indians from the United States of America, including JD Vance's wife? He's a high-profile person. His wife is Indian. His children are Indian. You don't know. You don't know where this can go. Do you not understand? This is the problem with fascism, because there's an endless thirst for more violence. And it's not that crazy to think fucking Mike Pence was the vice president. And by the end of Donald Trump's first term, Donald Trump's own fan base was storming the halls of the Capitol looking for him so they could literally hang him. So do you think it's that crazy? There is a direct incident that took place with the past administration where the vice president was in the crosshairs. They built nooses. So yeah, I don't think we fully comprehend, and I don't even think this dipshit fully comprehends, like, what kind of violent forces he's entertaining. He thinks he can lean into it and that shit won't be sweet. I'll give you an example of another person who has done this his entire life. Dinesh fucking D'Souza. Okay? Dinesh D'Souza is racist as hell. Dinesh D'Souza went to prison under the Obama administration for campaign finance fraud. He did straw donations on a race for his friend who lost by like 25 points. He's a fucking moron, right? And he has spent his entire life in the far right. Dinesh D'Souza is quite literally promoted Nick Fuentes, as a matter of fact. Like, that's how fucking racist he is. Dinesh D'Souza the other day was like, when did the Republican Party become so anti-Indian? I wonder why. Your son-in-law, Dinesh, was shitting on Zohran Mamdani for eating rice with his hands. How did the Republican Party become so racist against Indians, I wonder? Like, that's what I mean. These people don't even... Tokens eventually get spent. It doesn't work that way. And they are usually the first to go, as a matter of fact, because they're more accessible. If your entire movement is built around these racialized boundaries, these inalienable qualities that must be forcibly excised from the land, eventually they are going to come for you. Eventually they're going to come for your loved ones. The idea that this movement that you are leaning into is not going to eventually harm your loved ones is so stupid. It's already inappropriate. Even if you didn't have an Indian wife, it's ridiculous. It's violent. It's unacceptable.